Hello everyone and welcome to my 2-year review of a Victorinox SwissChamp. Last year I made a video about the first year with my SwissChamp. Now it's more than 2 years actually of using this knife, and since I made the last video that I put right here, I've been trying really to push this tool, trying to find the limits of this tool. Before I was always doing all the jobs with my Leatherman Freestyle, just because it's a really nice piece of steel with nice pliers, big pliers, not really big, but they are solid pliers, and a really nice knife, one and opening knife, and it locks in position. This knife is really thick and solid, so it feels great in your hand. I made also a review of this. For this year I wanted to put aside the Leatherman Freestyle, and I wanted to use only the Victorinox SwissChamp for all the heavy duty uses around the house and here on the garage. Just every time I can repair something with one of the tools inside here, this package. But now let's see first all the tools. Let's start from the outside. We have these classical red cellulose scales, but this one are the plus scales because they have two more tools. So first we have the little tweezers, nice tweezers. We have a toothpick, and now let's see the plus tools. A little pen, it's a blue pen, really works well. Okay, it's nice to have a pen in a little package like this, and this little pin can be nice to have one. Now we have here the small blade. I really use this small blade. Now it's really sharp. You can use it also like a blade for emergencies. I'm not using it at all. This is the large blade. I reuse this blade. You can see a lot of scratches. Works really well. I will show you a thing later about the blade. We have here the file. Okay, we have two sides. It's two sides file. One side is a little bit less aggressive than the other one. I can say right now I think this one is the more aggressive one. And here we have the metal saw for little pieces of small stuff like screws, but it works really well also with wood. Okay, if you have a really hard wood and the tooth of the saw doesn't work very well, you can use this one. We have here the wood saw. Works really well. It has seen a lot of uses, as you can see, but it's just nothing that you can't take away with a nice clean. I didn't clean this tool because I wanted to see that actually this tool is used. Okay, it seems in use. This one is a fish scaler, and we have a ruler also here. On this side we have centimeters, we have about 7 centimeters, and on this side we have inches, about 3 inches right there. Scissors. This scissors works really well. We have a little spring here. Pliers. Okay, small pliers. But these pliers are stronger than you can think. Also, we have the spring here, and we have a little notch inside of the jaws for hardwire cutting. I really test out the hardwire capability of these pliers. I cut a lot of hardwire, and I really I don't know how much. I think these are about 2 millimeters opening. There's a 2 millimeter opening, 1.5 maybe, and I really maxed out the wire capability, and it cut it through. It's a little bit flexible, okay, so it's not the best, but it doesn't break, okay, and it really works well still. Phillips screwdriver, very nice. It has 2 positions, doesn't lock, but it has 2 positions on the spring, 1 and 2, for a little more leverage. Magnifying glass, this one is made of plastic, transparent plastic, and also the glass is made of plastic, okay, but you can scratch it, but I didn't. I mean, I've tried, I can't say I tried sketching, but all the wood dust and even chalk, as I will explain later, didn't scratch this glass, sort of plastic magnifying glass. We have here this bottle cap lifter with this notch is a wire bender. In the end we have a flathead screwdriver. This tool also locks, not locks, but it has 2 positions, 1 and 2, for a little more leverage. This one is a very thick tool, and you can use it for prying things. Here we have the can opener. Okay, this side here is sharpened a bit, not really sharp, but I mean it works. And it has a little flathead screwdriver. Doesn't have 2 positions, only 1. And on the backside tools, I start from the awl and reamer. It has a really nice point, and it's sharpened at the edge right here. A nice hook that you can find some uses for this tool, as I will explain later. And we have another small flathead screwdriver. This one is one of my most used tools on this SwissChamp, and it's an old band because this steel is flexible, as I said. It's not like this one, okay. I don't know about this steel, the name of the steel, but it's more flexible. This makes it more resistant actually, but so you can bend it, but with a pair of pliers you can put it in the right way again, but it's flexible, okay. You have to consider this thing when using it. We have little chisel This one I sharpen a bit this one so it's a little bit smaller. That's really sharp now. And the corkscrew, classical tool from Victorinox, and a small flathead screwdriver for glasses most. But you can buy other screwdrivers, and I think fire starters, yes, but you can put in the corkscrew from Victorinox. Okay, so this tool now is always in the garage. So it's not my ADC anymore. 2 years ago I was using this as ADC. It's a bit heavy, and I don't have something to carry this tool. I know that Victorinox sells tool pouch, even in leather, for these tools, but I don't have one. So I was carrying it with a backpack or my trousers. Nothing really special, but it's an heavy tool. This one is quite heavy to have on your trousers, but you can carry it as ADC. There are people doing it. I was doing it. I just changed my ADC. Now I will show you. I have this one, an old Wenger as ADC. But when I go on long hiking trips, I always have this one of my backpack. Now it's always here in the garage. You can see it on other videos, repairing my car. I do a lot of woodworking, so I'm using a lot of blades, both of them. This one has seen a lot of use. This one is really nice blade, works really well if you can sharpen it a bit. Okay, just cut a bit, but now it's really sharp, and it has a problem that it had from when I bought this knife 2 years ago. The pin, there's a brass pin here, one here where you can see it, one over here, and another on the hand of this model, and this pin is a little loose. It locks well here, I checked under the scales, but it's a little loose, and so you can see it, blade moves a lot, so it doesn't really feel stable, doesn't really feel strong. Okay, I always feel like I'm bending the knife, and actually I'm bending the knife, but still here. So I've been using this knife for removing the wool putty that I had on the old display, and I used this knife for shaping all the new chalk that I put on the display. And when I was working with chalk, okay, doing all this work with the blade, it was already all messed up with chalk inside, and that was drying out. And I said, why not testing all the hinges and putting the chalk in the hinges inside of a tool to see if it still works, and or if these hinges, because it was like a very big question, okay, for me. All the hinges with sand, with fine chalk like the one I was using, if you can use this tool for real work, okay, like a multi-tool. And that's the same for the Swiss tool that has the same technology, okay. So I put a lot of chalk inside of this tool. It dried out, it was really solid, packed up with chalk, and then I just put it on hot water and dish soap and clean it like always, and it's still here, and nothing happened to all the hinges, to anything. Everything is okay now. So really happy about the result of this test. Okay, this small blade, I use a lot this small blade for carving and whittling. That's my favorite blade actually. It's really strong because it's small. It's the foot of blade here is really near the end of the tool, so you can put a lot of force in a small place. That's why the blade is smaller. The file is here. File, okay, is still doing great. I've been using a lot the file because the file that I have, I need to buy new files in the garage because they don't work really well. This one is the best file I have now, and also this metal saw works really well on pieces of wood, really hard wood like this. It works well. You can see it. Because it also it has only one direction, okay? So cuts, and you can. It's not like the saw, the wood saw, that has two directions. Thanks to its tiny teeth, it's good for cutting through hard stuff. Then we have the wood saw. Okay, I will show you the difference. So sometimes the wood saw can get stuck, but it's a really nice wood saw. It's still sharp after these years of hard use, and as you can see, it cuts really well. This is a really aggressive saw. Here the fish scaler. Never used this tool for scaling fish, but I've used this tool a lot for some little for the ruler actually. You know, it's great to have a little ruler sometimes, but not a lot of use. Scissors. Okay, here we have scissors. These are the Victorinox 91mm scissors. This one, I will show you. These are a little bit different than the scissors in the old Wenger knives and in the Dadamon range. These are spring-loaded scissors with this little spring here, and they cut really well. They are really well sharpened, and they keep the edge really well. The other design is this one. That's also spring-loaded scissors, but the spring is the back spring here. A bit different. I will do a review of this knife. That's a really nice knife. Pliers, as I said before, spring loaded. Really nice for precision little jobs like model making, all kinds of stuff, but they works really well. Even the little edge, okay, for hard wire cutting works really well. As I said before, they are a little bit flexible, still is, as you can see, is flexible. Okay, flex a bit, but not a big problem. Phillips screwdriver, 2 positions. I've used this screwdriver not a lot, thanks to the fact that it's missing is its point. It doesn't have a point. I don't know if it is for safety reasons, but it doesn't have one. Instead, the Phillips screwdriver that you can find some Victorinox models, instead of a corkscrew here, it has a point. So it's just a bit better, but not a lot. The fact that it has 2 positions is really nice. It's long enough to enter small holes to reach out some screws while they're inside things, and sometimes thanks to its shape of these edges, okay, this sort of square shape, screwdriver can hit the edges, like if it's can hit the edges on small holes, obviously, but it was just an example. Magnifying glass, really nice, nothing to say. As I said, it survived the test with the chalk, and all the wood dust is a bit dirty for the wood dust actually. This tool is really nice in a bushcraft survival situation, because you can try to do a fire just with this magnifying glass in the sun, and you can burn things. I've tried. This is actually not the sun, so it doesn't have enough power. Okay, here we have the bottle cap lifter. It's really nice, really strong. Okay, thickness is enough to allow you to pry without damaging the tool or having this tool bent, but it's really nice. And these 2 positions on the back spring they are really strong. Okay, it doesn't look like this one. This locks Wenger and the Audi Delmon range from Victorinox. They lock in position. Okay, this doesn't go anywhere because it's locked, but it doesn't have 2 position. This one doesn't lock, but it's strong enough, and it has 2 positions. This tool right here, I use this tool only for the flathead screwdriver. I want to try to do a spoon with this tool. I think you can do it, you know, thanks to its shape, and in fact that's sharpened a bit. I will try to sharpen this tool, the can opener a bit more, and I will try to like carve a spoon with it. Maybe I will do a video, let's see. And the backside tools. This is a bit annoying, but I mean, sometimes I remove it on collector knives, but this one I don't mind, because the problem is that you make a little scratch the surface here on the scale and the aluminium liners. This tool here, I use this tool a bit to do holes in the wood. It works really well. Let me show you. Just look how nice. Do more here. Okay, works really well. Now the hook. I've only used this tool a few times, and only like for holding wires, hard wires. And this summer I found out that it's a really nice tool, and it is really nice to have this tool if you're doing bushcraft things, because if you want to make a rope with bark from branches and twigs, you can hold the bark with this tool, holding it the other two parts with the other two extremes with the other hand, and like rotating the tool, twisting, and you're doing a nice rope, nice strong rope with it, without having to do it with your hands or attaching the bark to another piece of wood or stuff like that. This is a really nice tool for bushcraft. You can hold one hand, okay, like this. I mean, okay, broke down, but you can understand holding this and rotating, and you can do a rope with this hook. This small tool here is a small flathead screwdriver. As I said, it's a little bit bent. I've used this tool a lot on Torx screws. Goes really well into the Torx holes in the screws, Torx screws. Works really well, but now it's a little bit bent, but no problem. As I said, now I will show you. You can take this. You need another tool, but you can see how much flexible this steel is. Now chisel. When this tool arrived, when I bought this tool, it wasn't really sharp. Now I sharpened the chisel a bit, and it's really good. Really sharp and works really well. I use this chisel for whittling and woodworking, but yeah, it's a bit small, but it works. Now the last one, corkscrew. This tool is a classic, one of the classic tools of Victorinox. It's present in many models of knives. It's nice, works well for, as a corkscrew, for opening bottles. Tighten down like this, and then you have to reach like the end of the corkscrew, and then you make this movement and you can open the bottle. Also is really nice for untying the knots on your shoes, and to hold ropes or other type of things like wires. Also another thing, another plus of the corkscrews, but you can also this little screwdriver, and as I said before, Victorinox actually make other screwdrivers, Phillips head and others, but it goes inside here. They make a fire starter kit that goes inside here your corkscrew. So this is a nice solid tool. After these 2 years, but especially the last one, is still here. All the hinges work good, apart from this one that is a bit loose, but it was like this from the start, and it didn't turn out worse with time, so it's stable. Okay, it needs looseness. All the tools are really nice, really practical. I find every time I use for this SwissChamp knife, and nothing to say. I mean, I found that, if I have to tell you, these are anodized liners. Okay, I know how to clean a knife, a SwissChamp knife. I'm doing it for every knife that I have, and they are always good. This one, I think that the anodization side here for the aluminium wasn't the best, so it's starting to get a bit of oxide in the aluminium. Now you can see it because it's full of dirt and wood dust, but on the liners here, and especially I think it was especially on let me think, it was on this one, I can't remember, but this one is the only one that had this problem, and I think it was I don't know, it was a bit faulty. I don't know, it was on sale on Amazon, and I think it was the reason. But it's a really nice tool. I mean, the pseudo scales are all scratched, and they're not shiny anymore, but they're still here. They're not broken. That's a nice thing. So this is it for this year's review of the SwissChamp. Now I have a few others review coming for other knives, like this Wenger here, that's my ADC now, and a few other models. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.